Good evening, everybody. Third live stream for Money Mondays. We'll wait until we get a little bit of an audience and we'll get started at 7:05. Well, 7:03. Today's topic is debt repayment. So this is the one that everybody's been waiting on. This is the one that everybody's wanted. So we'll just jam out a little bit until we get a few more people on. At about 7:03, we'll get started. How's everybody's Monday going? Mine has been interesting. I had to go to the dentist today. Hate going to the dentist, to be honest. So it wasn't a pleasant experience this afternoon, but thank God for dental insurance. I see a couple of people have hopped on. Hello. Hello, everybody that's hopping on right now. Tonight's topic is debt repayment. So we'll wait a couple more minutes for a few more friends to join us, and then we'll get started. Can you guys hear the song this week? I don't think you could hear it last week. This is called Beautiful by B.J. Putnam, and it's like really one of my favorite songs. So I wanted to share it with you guys while we are waiting on 7:03 to get started. Kind of how I look when I'm driving in my car to work. I'm going to give me some rhythm one day. Hello, hello, everybody. I see Tanya, Miss Lavita, James, Latoya, Alicia, but Sarah, hey, Miss Betty, hi, Dwayne Jr., tell Summer I said hello. Hi, Miss Michelle. Hello. Oh, Coach, what's up, Coach from the Dashers? How you doing? Just a couple of more seconds here and we'll get started, everybody. All right. Welcome, welcome, one and all. This is our third live stream for Money Mondays. My name is Christina Anderson, and I am just the lady who sacrificed and struggled, lived on the struggle bus in order to live a debt-free lifestyle. So I wanted to share as much information as I have and as much information as I'm researching for this particular topic to you guys, so that you guys can have this information and that you can live a debt-free lifestyle as well. Trust me, it is freeing. It is freeing to know that when you lay your head down on your pillow at night, that all your needs are met, that your children will be provided for, that your household is going to be covered no matter what happens. It is a freeing situation to be in, to live debt-free. That's why the Bible says the borrower is slave to the lender. We don't want to live in a slavery type situation anymore. So the whole reason that I'm doing this is so that we can be free. We can be truly free financially. So again, thank you for joining us on our third live stream. I am streaming from the Black Money Matters page as well. If you have not liked the Black Money Matters page, hop over at some point in time and like that Facebook group. We're actually getting ready to get started on the Black Money Matters website as well. And soon we will also be live streaming from a couple of different outlets besides these two pages. We're going to pick up a Periscope and pick up a YouTube channel that's coming soon. So y'all pray for your girl, because I got to figure out how to do this, but we're going to make it happen so that we can reach more people with the message of true financial freedom. So, to those of you guys who have been inboxing me, texting me, calling me, God bless you all. I'm very proud of the progress that you all are making. Heard from a couple of our dear friends today that they just paid off both of their cars. Imagine how much money that frees up for their household so that they can invest in their children's college fund as opposed to investing in a depreciating asset. So I am very happy for them, and I wanted to celebrate them, and friends celebrate them as well, because they just paid off not one car but two cars. So I'm very happy for these friends of ours. Also, some other testimonies that have come in. Talked to a lady, she got her house refinanced, and that saved her $273 per month. So she's going to take that $273 and use it for debt repayment. So I'm very excited for her. If you guys need one-on-one help like that, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll talk about individual situations. Okay. There was another lady who reached out to me. We went over her budget together, and it turns out she was paying too much in health insurance. So she's going back to her employer to research different options to reduce her insurance costs, because it's simply just too much money coming out every month. So there's all kind of things that you can do to tweak those budget categories that we discussed last week in order to have more money for that debt repayment pot. Okay. So number one, we got to make sure that we're committed to this. So once you're committed to it and your mindset is shifting towards a CEO mentality, you're the CEO of your household, you're the CEO of your personal budget. Once you get that mindset shift, then we are ready to set up our budget. So if you did not get an opportunity to see last week's live stream, please look over at either my page or the Black Money Matters page or Christopher's page, and you can review last week. That week is critical. You've got to have that budget down, and you've got to be within those budgetary guidelines that we discussed last week, and adjusting them to put more money over in the debt repayment category in order for this to work tonight. Okay, so each one of these lessons are building on each other. So please make sure that you watch last week if you haven't had the opportunity to do so. Okay, very good. I see some more people have joined us. Hello, everyone. Kachavius has joined us. My neighbor Christine has joined us. Vern and my little cousin Megan has joined us. Hey, Megan. So we're going to jump right into debt repayment. And guys, this will not be a long broadcast tonight, because debt repayment is not difficult. I'm going to say that again. Debt repayment is not difficult. It's the easiest math in the world. It's simply addition. Okay, you're adding money to how much you're paying to that particular debt instrument. That's it. There's nothing complicated about what I'm going to share with you on tonight. Okay. Hey, Joy, it's okay that you late, sweetie. I love you. So there's nothing complicated that we're going to talk about this evening. I just want to make sure that we're all clued in and we're all paying attention, because this is like the simplest thing in the world that I'm going to share with you guys on the Money Mondays. Okay. So how do you repay debt? The number one thing that you do is pay more than the minimum balance. If you're paying the minimum balance on a debt instrument, regardless of what that instrument is, whether it's a credit card, whether it is a line of credit, whether it is a car note, a furniture bill, whatever that thing is, if you're only paying the minimum payment, you're going to end up paying sometimes 5 to 6 times the amount that you originally took out in the loan, because loans are not designed for you to pay them off quickly if you're paying the minimum balance. Here's the inside scoop. Banks make their money on the interest. They don't make their money on you repaying them. If it was just about you repaying them, then the interest rate would be 0. No, the interest rate on the average credit card is 28%. So that's where they make their millions. Okay, the millions, the billions that banks are making is on the interest. And if you pay more than the minimum balance, then you reduce the amount of interest that you're paying over the life of that loan. Okay, so the most important thing that you can do is pay more than the minimum balance. every single month. Okay, now I'm going to show you a strategy to do that, to get it done in a way that's manageable for the average household. Okay, does everybody have their pencils? Everybody's got their paper, and you're ready to take notes tonight? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready to take some notes tonight, so that I know we're all paying attention and we're ready to roll. Okay, I'm starting to get a couple of them rolling through here. All right, so pretend with me that this is your budget. Okay, this is your debts. Can y'all see that? Okay, so I picked two cars. Wait a minute, wrong hand. I've got two cars here because the average American family has a loan on two vehicles. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 credit cards here, or loans of some sort, because the average American family has about 5 different loans that are unsecured debt instruments. Okay, so what do I mean by unsecured? That means it's not secured by a piece of property. What is a secured loan? These vehicles, those are secured. An unsecured loan is a credit card or a line of credit. Okay, another example of a secured loan is a mortgage. What's securing the loan? The house, meaning there's something for them to come and repossess. Okay, so secured loans by and large have lower interest rates than unsecured loans. That's why you'll hear me say over and over and over again, we live a cash-based life. Why? Because it's too easy to get into high levels of debt with unsecured debt instruments. Okay, so when the lady at Macy's asks you, do you want to put this on your Macy's card? What you gonna tell the lady? No, ma'am. Okay, because we can't go to Macy's if we don't have cash, and we're not going to put it on the Macy's card because the average Macy's APR is 28.6% or 28.9%, depending on the time of year that you get it. That means for every $100 you borrow, you're paying back $128 each month. Okay, so we're not taking out these in-store credit cards. Those are a complete ripoff. Okay, let them go, cut them up, throw them out after you cut them up so nobody steals the number. Okay, so whatever you do, holidays are coming up. When the Toys R Us people, oh wait a minute, they just declared bankruptcy. Never mind on Toys R Us. Okay, Target. When a little Target lady with the red shirt on asks you if you want to put this on your Target credit card, the answer is what? No. Okay, because we need to be spending cash when we're making these purchases. I digress. Let me get back on topic, y'all, before I stand on that soapbox for a little bit too long. But anyway, let's take a look at this. What I want you to do is list the debts. Okay? Take out a sheet of paper. You should have this in your budget from last week, and you should be able to list out each and every one of your debts that you owe. Okay? Next to the name of the debt, I need you to put the amount owed for each one of them. Okay, I just took some average amounts here based off of different averages that I found online. So we're going to write out the amount owed. Okay, next to the amount owed, I need you to put the percentage. Okay, the APR, the interest rate. You'll hear this referred to different ways. Okay, that's a pretty way to say how much the bank is charging you for you to use their money to buy your pizza. And I say pizza because I actually spent money on a credit card in college to buy pizzas. Don't do that. Okay, so next I need you to list all your APRs, okay, or your interest rates. After that, you're going to list your monthly minimum payment. Okay, after that, we're listing our monthly minimum payment, and we're going to do this for each and every one of our outstanding loans. Okay, and I want us to get away from using the word credit card and call it what it is, a debt or a loan. Why? Because that's a harsher way to say it, so you won't be so quick to pick up that plastic when you realize that everything that you purchase is a loan. Okay, that helped me switch my mentality when it came to using plastic. When I started referring to it the way that it really is, as opposed to the way that they market it to us, it was a little bit more difficult for me to pick up that plastic to buy a pizza. Okay, why am I taking out a loan to buy a pizza? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so we're going to call it what it is. We're going to call it a loan. All right, so can everybody see this? After you list it out, and I know you guys can't really see me, but you don't have to. As long as you can hear me, we're good. After you list out everything, we're going to rank them in repayment order. Okay, so we are repaying them based on their highest APR. Okay, highest APR first. All right, so look at our list here. The highest APR on the list is Dillard's. 9 times out of 10, no disrespect to the Dillard's people, by the way. If you got any Dillard's employees on here, don't run back and tell your boss I was bad mouthing them. But anywho, 9 times out of 10, those in-store credit cards are going to be the highest interest rate. All right. So in-store credit cards are like furniture credit cards or anything like that that's inside of a retail establishment. Those are going to be the highest. Why? Because you should be able to walk in there and walk out with cash-based purchases. They know they have you if you're putting it on a card because they know you're going to forget to pay it back within that 30 days. But anywho, Dillard's is the highest at 28% APR. So we're going to list them first. Second, Macy's at 27%. Third, we've got Visa up here at 23%. What's next? Fourth, MasterCard. If that ain't prophetic, they told you we your master. We not messing with them. Okay, fourth. Fifth, we've got Discover Card, Discover Debt. That's what I like to call them. Discover Bondage. Okay, that's what Discover is. Discover Bondage. All right. Sixth, we've got the Vehicle 1 and then Vehicle 2. Okay. So once you have it all listed out, this lets us know the order in which we're going to repay it. All right. So Dillard's is our very, very first bill that we're going to pay back in full. Why are we paying them back in full? Because they're the most expensive loan that you have. Okay, we've got to look at this in terms of paying off the most expensive debt first in order for us to maximize our dollar. Okay, that Dillard's debt of $2,700 is costing you 28% each month, so we're going to pay that back first. So this is what we do. This is called the snowball method. Okay, so we are going to pay the minimum balance on everything else. Then you're going to put any extra money you have on that Dillard's repayment until you pay it in full. Okay, so what do I mean? You remember last week when we were adjusting the categories near the end of the stream? We were adjusting the categories to put more money in the debt repayment category. If you don't remember what I'm talking about, go look at last week so that you can. Okay, so you're going to put as much money as possible in your debt repayment category, and you put any extra money left in that debt repayment category after you meet all of your minimum obligations on the most expensive loan that you have. And in this illustration, it's the Dillard's loan. Okay, so let's kind of walk back to last week just to make sure that we're on the same page here. If you are not putting enough money in that debt repayment category, this will never work. Okay, so you need to squeeze your budget until it literally hurts in order to have enough money in that debt repayment category to get ahead of the snowball. Okay, here's the truth of the matter. The credit card companies, the debt companies, the loan companies are already snowballing on you. It's an avalanche of debt coming in the form of compound interest on you. This method helps you snowball back on them so that you can get out of debt quicker. Okay, so in order to do that, in order for it to make sense, you've got to put more money in the debt repayment category. How do we do that? We do that by cutting expenses in other areas. Okay, so maybe you remember last week we had our extras, our other. Maybe your other is only 1% of your budget because you need more money for your snowball method. Okay, maybe you need to take your insurance category and cut it in half so that you have enough money for your snowball method, right? Okay, I know I talked to, let me get this number correct, 14 people last week when it came to the category of giving. Okay, and let me help you right now. Let me help you like I helped those people that I talked to last week. These are genuine people that genuinely want to give and want to be obedient. Okay, I am in complete agreement with you giving to the place of worship that you attend. Okay, God said the tithe belongs to him, the 10% belongs to him. The offering is you being able to offer up anything that you have left. Okay, so after you've met all your obligations, after you've covered your household, afterwards you offer. Okay, if you don't have anything left afterwards, then you don't have anything to offer financially. You go and offer your time and your talent. Okay, until you're in a position to be able to offer financially. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Pay your 10%, but if you don't have 20%, there's nothing for you to pay at this time because you don't have 20% to pay. Okay, I was talking to one lady that was paying 35% of her income into church, but she was in bankruptcy. I talked to another lady that was actively going through the Chapter 11 process at this time, but paying 35%. You can't afford that. Okay, you may be able to afford your 10 and pay your 10, but you can't afford more than that. So maybe that's a category that you need to cut in order to have more money for your snowball. Okay, because these are established obligations that you have to pay back in order to be honorable to God's word. So walk in freedom and know that you're still being a good Christian, even though you're paying just tithes at this time. That's what God said belonged to him. Okay, amen. So anyway, you've got to have more money to put in this snowball category. Okay, so if you've already squeezed your budget until you can't squeeze it anymore, then, and you still don't have enough money for this snowball category, your next step is to produce more income. Okay, so you need to begin to ask yourself a series of questions of how we're going to produce more income. The quickest, easiest way to produce more income is to get a second job, hands down. Okay, because it doesn't take any investment outside of time for you to get a second job, and we all have time, and literally everyone is hiring right now. Okay, there's all kind of second jobs out there you can get. I strongly encourage you to get it. Okay, and like I shared before, at one point in time, Christopher had 3 jobs. I had 2 jobs. We was doing what we had to do. Why? To put some money in this snowball category in order to be free. Okay, so it's very, very important that you have enough money to fund this category. So let's look at this person. Say this person has an extra, after they meet all of their monthly payments, this person has an extra $200 a month to put on this Dillard's card. Okay, if they have an extra $200 a month, then they are going to take this $2,700 and they're going to pay it off in approximately, let's see here, 26. Let's see, you should probably pay that off in about 10 months if you're keeping that minimum payment plus the extra $200. Okay, that's approximately 10 months to repay. All right, if that person was just paying the minimum payment, they would be paying that loan back for about 3.5 years. Okay, so the snowball method allowed this person to pay it off early. Now, if they had an extra $200 a month, okay, so you've got the $275 minimum payment plus the $200 a month extra that they hustled up on to add to that $275. Maybe they got a part-time job on the weekends and they were able to hustle up on another $200. They were paying $475 a month to Discover. To Dillard's. I'm sorry about that. 10 months later, they're free from Dillard's. Okay? But what happens to this $475? They don't go shopping. Amen. What you do with that $475 is add it to obligation number 2. Okay? We're already at $270, and now we're going to add this $475 on top. That gets us to, what is that? $745 a month that we're paying back to Macy's. Okay? Well, heck, you only owe Macy's $1,981. Okay? A good what? 3 months max. And you're out of debt there. But here's the deal. You've already been paying that minimum payment for 10 months. So it's not going to even take you 3-4 months at that point in time to pay Macy's back. Bet money you'll have Macy's paid back in month and a half, 2 months. Okay? But here's the thing. You're going to be so amped. You're going to be so excited. You're going to be so high off of paying off Dillard's that I bet you pick up some extra hours at your part-time job so that you have more than $200 a month to pay back. Right? Say you got $250 to pay back. You'll be able to pay that Macy's thing off now in 2 months as opposed to the 2 years it would have taken you to pay them back had you just been paying the monthly payment. Okay, so now we paid Macy's back in 2 months. So we got 10 months here for Dillard's plus 2 months for Macy's. We're at a year. At 1 year, we've knocked off 2 of the 7 loans. Okay, that's real, genuine progress. Okay. And you still have $745 a month to what? Snowball onto your next loan. Okay? So we got $745 a month. What's next? Visa. We're going to take, oh, can y'all see still? We're going to take this $280, $280 plus this $745. Okay? That's 2, let's see, that's 3. Now we're paying Visa monthly $1,025. You only owe Visa $2,731. And remember, this is a year later. So 9 times out of 10, you only owe them $2,500 at this point. So how long is it going to take you to pay Visa back? 2.5 months. Okay? How long would it have taken you before? About 3 years. Okay, so can you see how we're snowballing and we're paying this back even faster? So we've added another 2.5 months. Okay, so let's just approximate it. Maybe Christmas came through, and that's 3 months. Okay, so we are at 1 year, 3 months, as opposed to, okay, everybody, wave. All right, we're at 1 year, 3 months, as opposed to being at 3 years here, plus 2 years here, plus 2 years here. Do you see how you can get out of bondage faster by snowballing your way through? Right? Okay, so we are now at the point where we're paying $1,025 a month, and we've knocked off Visa. Okay, so let's now add that to the $322 a month that we're paying for MasterCard. Plus 322, that's 7, 4, 3. Y'all checking my math? Are y'all checking the math? Okay. It's a little crooked, but I think you can see it. Now we're paying our debts back at $1,347 a month. But guess what? You about got a raise. Hey, you done got a raise because we're in a new year. What else happened once you cross into a new year? Tax refund. Woo! We're not going to the mall with the tax refund. What are we doing with our tax refund? We're knocking out these loans with the tax refund. Okay, the average person gets about $2,400 a year back in tax refunds. So if you take this $1,300, you only owe $3,200 on your fourth obligation. Okay, so you can honestly pay that back in about another 3 months, and another 3 months plus 3 months. Take your tax refund, pay off this Discover card. Okay, you didn't even have to add no time to that because that was just money that came back to you. Now, in a year and a half, we've eliminated each and every credit card, aka loan, unsecured loan that you owed. Okay? So, you see how much faster that was as opposed to paying this money back at the minimum rate and then going and buying some new shoes? And I say shoes because I had a bit of a shoe habit. I still kind of do. I just look now online and imagine them on my feet as opposed to actually buying them and putting them on my feet. I can live with that for a while. And then one day, when I'm truly free, then I'll be able to get some more. Okay. So the point is, if you sacrifice for a year and a half, you can be free of all of your unsecured debts. Okay. Now we have well over $2,000 a month. And I mean well over $2,000 a month freed up to then do what? Start paying off these vehicles. Okay? We're coming for the vehicles next. Somebody told me once that there's no point in paying off cars early because you're always going to have a car loan. I rebuke that. You don't always have to have a car loan. What you can do is pay your car off and hold on to your car until the bitter end. That way you get 5 to 7 years of of not having to pay a loan on a car. That's 5 to 7 years of practically free transportation cost. Okay, so don't listen when people tell you that you have to always be in debt. That is a slave mentality. That is a slave to debt mentality, and we have broken that mentality over our lives. Okay, so we don't have to live that way. We can take that extra $2,000 a month, add it to this $375 that we're paying on the first loan. And how long is it going to take us to get out of debt with this car? It's only going to take about 9 months to pay this car off at that point in time. 9 months. Hear me. 9 months to pay that car off. Okay? Then you take this extra, we already at 2,000. You take this 375 here, add it to this 490. You have about $2,700 a month, give or take, to pay off this last car. Okay? So we are at 2 years, 3 months. We got 27. Let me do my math real quick. $100 a month. Y'all, I got to get a calculator. I can't do that in my head. Wait a second. Hold on. Let's get the math together so I don't lie to you. Okay. So if we are paying back approximately $2,700 a month and the car loan is $24,800, that car too will be paid off in 9 months. Okay? So you have 16 months plus 18 months. That is 34 months. What's that? A little shy of 3 years. And you got another tax refund in there you can put on that car. A little shy of 3 years, we've knocked out every single debt. You mean to tell me you don't have 3 years? You got 3 years. You've got 3 years in order to be free. Anything that you want, really, really want, can wait 3 years. There's nothing out there that's that important that you have to sacrifice being in bondage. Because this level of bondage right here, this could have taken about total 9 years to pay off. Okay? You've cut that by 2/3 by having self-discipline and using the snowball method. Okay? Okay, again, this only works if you are willing to cut expenses to the core, okay? And if you need to get some extra income to add to speed up your snowball. Does anybody have any questions about the method that we just discussed tonight? If you have some questions, let me know, because I want to make sure that I make it really, really plain, because it's super easy. I was surprised by how fast we were able to pay everything off. And now that the mortgage is paid off, we haven't had a car note in, shoot, I don't remember the last time we had a car note, to be honest with you. With the mortgage paid off, with us not having to pay for a car, the only thing that we really have to pay for now is after school care for the children. And in Jesus' name, they're going to be old enough soon to stay at home. I see that day coming. But anyway, until that day comes, we just have to pay for the after school care. So we've got now the extra money to snowball on the student loans. So my projection, what I am praying for, that I have enough focus and dedication to stay focused on paying off our student loans. So it is my goal to have those student loans paid off within the next 2-3 years max, but I really want to go on in the next 2 years. And the only way that we can do this is with the snowball method. We take the money that we're saving on the mortgage, the money that we've saved on the cars, the money that we're saving just in our regular budget, and snowball that up into the student loan payments, okay? Now, take advantage of everything that you can take advantage of when it comes to lowering the interest rate on those credit cards. That's the second thing that you can do in order to make this snowball method work faster for you. The first thing that you can do is put as much money in the debt repayment category as possible. The second thing that you can do is work to lower those interest rates. Okay, so I've had a lot of people ask, how do you work to lower the interest rate? Well, the way that you work to lower the interest rate is by calling the people and being honest with you. I can't give you nothing more than that. I just got to be real. We had a lady that she joins us on the live stream each week. She called her lender. It was a credit union. She called her credit union and was like, hey, I'm trying to pay you off. Okay, I've got this amount of money each month, okay, and I have got to pay you off. I need you to work with me. They told her no. She was like, no, who can I talk to? She kept going up the chain, and she eventually got to, I want to say, the president of the credit union, if I'm not mistaken. And they worked with her. They took her interest rate to 0% and put her on a payment plan to have her obligation paid off in 5 years. This just happened. So I know that these institutions will work with you if you're being honest about it, okay? If they don't work with you, if you fought and they don't work with you, then I hesitate saying this, I would like to introduce you to something else that we did in order to lower the interest rates on our debt repayment. Okay, Discover. Discover was my very first credit card. I got it when I was in college to buy pizza. Actually, they was giving it away. Like, if you came and signed up for it, you got a free pizza. So that's how I got the credit card. And then I used it later to buy more pizza. But anywho, Discover card. Discover was low-key stalking me and was sending me these checks in order to do a balance transfer at 0% interest rate for a certain number of months. So if you have a credit card company or a debt with an institution that will not work with you at all, I mean, they being real stank about it and they will not work with you at all, I would look into balance transfers at a 0% with no balance transfer fee. I couldn't afford no balance transfer fee. And I told the people on the phone, I told Discover, hey, I'm going to transfer this balance over to you if you don't charge me a balance transfer fee. Why were they willing to do that for me? Because those balance transfer fees can be a couple $100s. Why were they willing to do that? Because they wanted my business. Why did they want the business? Because they assumed that I would not pay the balance off during that introductory 0% interest time span. The only way you can do that, though, is if you know without a shadow of a doubt in your mind that you're only transferring over what you can pay off during that introductory period of time. Now, this was several years ago, but they were giving me like 0% for 6 months here, 0% for 3 months there, 0% for 9 months over there. Okay, so what I did is if I owed, let's just bring this example back up. If I owed Dillard's $2,700 and I knew that I could only afford to pay off $2,000 during that 0% time, then I only transferred over $2,000. Why? Because I don't want to be stuck owing Discover more at a higher interest rate than I owed on the original loan. Okay, so you got to be smart about this. Only transfer over what you can pay off. Okay, the other thing is you look around for a different loan that may have a lower interest rate if you know for sure that you can pay it off. If not, if you do not have the self-control for that at this moment, don't do it. Just pay as you go until you develop the self-control. Okay, but honestly, that 0%, them 0% checks Discover was sending me, that was a godsend. And we were able to have a little isolated cushion where we could pay the debt back off at 0%, as opposed to having a third of the payment eaten up in interest. Okay, so that's another thing that you can explore. And if you have any questions about that, let me know. Does that make sense? Was that clear for everybody? I just want to make sure that was clear for everybody. Give me a thumbs up if it was clear so that I know that you got that piece. Okay? Okay, good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, again, in order to repay the debts, there's two things that you can do. What are they? Number one, you're going to put more money in your debt repayment pot by either cutting your expenses, by cutting your expenses and, if you can, increasing your income. Okay? The second thing that you can do is, for your snowball method, is see if you can negotiate down those APRs because it'll help you pay it off faster. Okay? Okay, so that's debt repayment. Okay, I told y'all, this is the easiest one that we're going to do because it's literally just addition. There's no magic sauce here. And to that end, there's no shortcuts here either. Okay, it takes actual discipline. But this is the thing that I've learned about discipline over the years. Discipline in one area of your life will spill over into the other areas of your life. It's when I got discipline in my finances that it spilled over into discipline for my health. And I started working out and losing weight and trying to get my body together. Why? Because that's a medical expense, and I'm not trying to pay for extra pills, and extra doctor visits, okay? This is not just about finances, but it's also about living a healthy lifestyle holistically, okay? So when you start to have discipline in one area, it'll spill over in others. You will see that you'll be able to have the discipline to get up and move your bodies and work out. You will have discipline in your relationships as well. You will have the discipline to spend time with your spouse, okay? You'll have the discipline to spend time with your children and interact with them and hold your tongue. Don't be hollering at your babies. You have discipline to not be so frustrated with the other people in your life. Why? Because when you're in debt, it feels like you are spiraling out of control. It feels like you have no control, so your frustration level is high. When you begin to have a legitimate plan and you're taking control over your finances, you're empowered to take control over the other areas of your life as well. Okay? You're a little bit more pleasant to be with too. People been telling you you're a little mean? Say you're talking bad about folks? Maybe that you got to repay some debt so that you can have a little bit more love and compassion in your heart, more capacity for that, because you're less frustrated with other areas in your life. People don't set you off as quickly, okay? You're not as difficult to be around when you've got this self-control and a plan to get out of debt, okay? All right, so work on your own personal snowball method as you continue to tweak your budget, okay? I encourage you, if you're looking for work, look for work. Get some extra hours, pick up some overtime. It is well worth it to focus in for 3 years and be completely free. That way you can have the space to then do the other things in life that you're looking to do. Amen. Amen. All right, guys, I told you it was going to be quick tonight. I told you it was going to be easy tonight. If anybody has any questions, please inbox me and let me know. Once again, thank you so much for joining me on the third Money Mondays. Next week's topic, we are going to be talking about how to make smart purchases, okay? So it's one thing to pay off debt. The other thing is we still live, so we still have to buy things. So we're going to talk about how to responsibly spend our money when it comes time to spending our money. Once again, thank you to the Black Money Matters family for joining us. Thank you to the people streaming on Christopher's page, and thank you to those who are streaming live on my page. Please share this stream out with other people so that we can be a blessing to as many people as possible, so that we can all have financial freedom through Christ Jesus. If you have any questions, inbox me and let me know. See you next Monday at 7 p.m., everybody. Good night.